गुड इवनिंग एंड वेलकम टू गनर शॉट। गनर शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है। Today we are going to discuss something very, very, very interesting. The idea is to see if Xi is a lame duck. Well, many of you won't believe that he's a lame duck and that he's very much in command and all that. But I don't think so. And I don't think so because I have done a bit of research on this, and I feel that his time is up as a great leader. The thing is this: anyone who spent 10 years, after 10 years, he gets jaded. He starts getting deluded, and he starts veering away from his original goals. And I think that's what's happened with Xi. And much as he tried to shut off the opposition and all that, things have not worked out strictly the way he wanted. And this is my view. And I'll put it across to you, and then we can have a discussion. And then, of course, we'll have the open house. Yeah, let's go first and see what. Oh, I got this beautiful cartoon about Ghana shot. I'll just show it to you in a close up. Just see someone sent it to me. I was so happy that someone has started making cartoons also out of Ghana shot, which is a good thing. And I'd like to, participate more with you. I did give an offer out earlier that I want audience participation, and on the open house day, I'll get you over. It's only Akash who came in. We had a lovely conversation. The offer is open to all of you still. Anyone who wants to join Gunner Shot is welcome to do so. Right? And I'll just let me know either by email or by in a comment, and I'll get through to you and have you on, and you can talk live. Okay, but that's your choice whether you want to do it or not. But we'll go ahead with what we are supposed to do today. Yeah, before that, those of you who are interested, join Ghana Shot. It's a value proposition to all of you, because I think we're going to do something a lot of exciting things at a time when the world is in turmoil. A lot of things are happening. You need to get the balanced view. If you want masala, you can go to all other kinds of dialogues and channels and talks and all that. So I leave it at that. But we'll talk about this today. Okay, where did I start? Why do I say that he's a lame duck guy now? This article from Nikkei Asia, I came across it, read it, and what all we had been predicting, what all I have been predicting for the past 1-2 months has come true. You remember, I did a few shows in Jaipur Dialogues with General Rajiv Narayanan, and of course one with General Dushyant Singh also, to examine where is Xi Jinping. He's absent. I'd said two things: either he's being sidelined or something's wrong with him. One has happened. I don't know about the rest. Okay, now what does this article say? Right, it talks of elders stay faithful to Deng over reformer Xi Jinping. Right. Before I go to this article and explain to you, this content of this article, I'd like to put across, what I had spoken, so that you understand where we started. And this is a clip I'm going to show to you, which I did with, of the podcast I did with General Rajiv Narayanan. Have a look what it said then, and we'll take it up from there. प्लेनम के हेडलाइंस, ये 3 हेडलाइंस है, उसमें सिर्फ एक इनिशियल है जिसमें शी जिनपिंग है, हमें वो खबर आया था कि इसका क्या स्ट्रोक हो गया वगैरह। उसके बाद पूरा थर्ड प्लेनम का मैं ये हेडलाइंस दिखा रहा हूँ आप लोगों को, वहां कहीं नहीं है। ये लास्ट वाला फोटो तो वो फाइल फोटो है, उसके बारे में बाद में बात करें। नो खबर। अगर आप थर्ड प्लेनम का जो कम्युनिटी देखते हो तो दो तीन चीज इट स्ट्राइक्स एट योर फेस। फर्स्ट, देयर इज नो टॉक ऑफ कॉमन सिक्योरिटी, राइट? That is taken out. Common prosperity, which was his trademark. Xi Jinping's trademark was common prosperity through COVID. वो एक बार भी जिक्र नहीं है वो पूरा कम्युनिटी। दूसरा, ड्यूअल सर्कुलेशन। ड्यूअल सर्कुलेशन का भी कोई खबर नहीं है। खबर क्या होता है? न्यू प्रोडक्टिव फोर्सेस वो एंड सिक्योरिटी। और लास्ट में नॉर्मली थर्ड प्लेनम में, हर एक प्लेनम में the last paragraph is supposed to be the chairman's message, right? The general secretary's message. इस प्लेनम में इसका नाम ही नहीं है। जी जिनपिंग का नाम ही नहीं है इस प्लेनम में कि इसका ये है। उन्होंने राउंड अबाउट कुछ बताया है, बट देयर इज नो मेंशन ऑफ द चेयरमैन्स डायरेक्ट मैसेज टू द नेशन और टू द गवर्नमेंट और टू द पार्टी। दैट इज सरप्राइजिंग. So far he's not present and he's being sidelined. That's what is coming out. Okay. Then this left one is from Xinhua. There was one day before the third plenum, an article comes out giving Xi Jinping's great ideas, his direction to China, vagara vagara. A 10,000 word article. The next day that article disappears. I have shown you the website. Blank. I've just lifted the website and shown it to you. The screenshot of the website. Finished. Even now you go, you'll not find that article. Okay? So, why? Obviously there is some problem. Either he's sick, not able to do, or he is being sidelined. Okay? Then you look at their index. I've shown left. Plenum ke headlines, ye teen headlines. Right. So if you saw, this entire story started with the third plenum. The third plenum, if you remember, it was purported that he had a stroke or whatever. He made the opening statement. After that, he was vanished. He didn't figure anywhere. And then for about a month, he was out of the scene, and now he started appearing back. So what is the story behind all this nonsense? And that story is clarified in this article. Okay. Now, what does this article say? He says there's a revolt against reformer Xi Jinping. And this is behind closed doors. And it has dealt a setback to Xi Jinping and his allies. It's not in the open, right? And this comes in Nikkei Asia, like I said. And he's very clearly said in this article that this highly unusual political drama played out during the third plenary session held in Beijing. Same, third plenum. Okay. He says when the international has said, all of us thought that third plenum will know China's long-term economic policy, his medium policy, how we'll get China out of the rut and all that. That was where we were all looking international attention. But the focus was internal. The focus in China was on reform and opening up. How will that happen? What is the story behind that? That was what was going on in China. We didn't know. And this is China. In China, something happens, then you're left to speculate. You don't understand it. Slowly the story starts coming out. So far, no one has said he's a lame duck. I'm putting it up front that he is. Okay. Now, On July 15th, that's the day which I showed you that uh, clip, where Xinhua published this article. I didn't understand what was there, but in this article, it comes out. Nikki Asia has put all this out very clearly. What does it say? He says it's a commentary on Xi Jinping, the reformer. And this article praises Xi Jinping as an outstanding reformer, and it reinforces, or rather, it was to reinforce Xi Jinping's authority at the party meeting and thereafter, so that he is the unquestioned king. And Xi Jinping has been doing this, not from now, for the past 4 5 years. He's slowly eliminating his opponents and putting his own thing up. Now, some people within the CCP have said that the article is strange and factually incorrect. This is very strong. I mean, these words have been used by the Nikki Asia correspondent, and that correspondent is a good China hand. He's a China watcher. I'm forgetting his name. Uh, right? Others said it was not in line with the official party history and questioned it. For the first time, someone has started questioned Xi Jinping and said, look, this is wrong. This is not what the party is supposed to do. So in his 11th year, he's being questioned. Okay. Now, the moment this happened, it's something like sannata. Sannata chaya gaya hai bhai, kya ho raha hai? Ye sannata kyun hai type, So what does he say? Many others use these reverberations as an opportunity to vent their pent-up frustrations with China's dire economic situation. Naturally, the economic situation is bad, and most of them actually know that it is Xi Jinping's policies which have brought this state. So they have fallen behind the guys who are questioning Xi Jinping. Okay? Now, you just see how it's playing out in China, right? Okay, and I'll summarize it at the end. So this is that article. One day it's there, other day it's not there. It's not there even now. Okay, and this article confirms it. What does it say? I mean, let's look at it. Article focused on reform under Xi Jinping, dared to trivialize the history and results of Deng's reform and opening up. So this is now Xi Jinping versus Deng. Reform under Xi Jinping, great. Whatever reform and opening up under Deng is not so much. Trivialized. And there's a lot of things in there, and it talks of Xi, his father's relationship with Deng, and all that. We're not going to get into that. But now Xinhua gives the impression that the father and son Xi and not Deng led China's reform drive. कि भाई Zeng और उसका बाप, and Deng was ऐसे ही है आ गया. And Xi's current economic policy seems to significantly differ from Deng's reform and opening up. And that Deng did something, but without Xi, nothing would have happened. Right, that's what. See, while Deng has been dubbed the general architect of reform and opening up, the commentary emphasized that Xi, not Deng, is now the highest authority on reform in the party's history. Because Xi feels, look, Deng only reformed the economic part of it. I have reformed the party. I've reformed the state control. I've ensured that the party will be in power for the next 100 years. It was falling apart. So he, in his opinion, Deng feels that he's got a higher stature than Deng, and hence he got this article out, and he keeps getting such articles regularly. Okay, at one point of time, 2 years back, he got the official history rewritten, where he was the highest, or the tallest leader in China. Okay. Now, at this stage, the party elders felt that Xi was taking credit for Deng's great achievement. So whoever they were might be very few because all those party elders who could have stopped Z are almost gone. Maybe one or two are there. We don't know. Like Jiang Zemin gone. Hu Jintao has been sidelined. The 20th Party Congress, if you remember, he was led out of the hall, and it was deliberate. Okay, so these were the people who were Deng's, chelas. Now they were thrown out, but there's someone still who feels no things are not going right. Why are things not going right? Because the economy is down. Fundamental thing is economy is not down, is down. You're fighting with everyone. The geopolitical tensions are up, and people are unhappy. Okay, let's go further. Now, Z at some point of time, he's realized the seriousness of the situation. And then overnight, he withdraws this article. Overnight. 15th it was there, 16th onward it's not there. That's what Nikki says. It says it was completely scrubbed from China's internet before the last day of the third. In fact, it was scrubbed the next day itself. And the word he used, this is how reformer Xi Jinping was toppled. Gone. After that, no cover of Xi Jinping in the communique or common prosperity. Common prosperity was Xi Jinping's favorite word. It's out. Okay. And dual circulation, that was his great economic theory. That has not figured even once in the plenum report. And his message is missing. So you can imagine what's happening in, China. Okay. Now, following this, there was this Beidaihe meeting. So what happened at the Beidaihe meeting? Let's, since the words are small, I'll get it a little closer so that you can see it. Instead of my face, you see this, right? So Z presides. See, here what I've done, I've taken the 2014 Beidaihe meet and the current meet. In 2014, Z presided over an event, the same event. And at that time, it was commemorating the 110th anniversary of Deng Xiaoping. The elders focused their Beidaihe discussion on Xi's fierce anti-corruption campaign. They were not happy. They were not happy, right? In fact, if you see, let me read next. Their discontent was strong, including Jiang Zemin, who felt that, their own subordinates, the elder subordinates, their military officers, all these people were being thrown away by Xi in that Beidaihe meet in 2014. But Xi didn't bother. He simply struck them off. He forgot. He said, "No, I'm going to go ahead with my anti-corruption campaign." By then, he had consolidated his power very clearly. And then, end of story. No one had any choice. But what about now, 2024? Important. What is the mood in this? What is the mood in this year's Beidaihe meet? No one knows so far what was discussed in it. No one knows. It's not come out. It is not even known whether Xi Jinping attended. From what information we have so far, right? From what information we have so far, it's possible that Xi Jinping didn't even attend that meet. Probably he was kept out of it. We don't know. Complete secrecy on the whole story. But one thing we know that he didn't attend the meet. I'll tell you why. And this is something again I had analyzed with Rajiv Narayanan earlier. And I'll show you that clip also after this. Okay. This is the report which came out of that Beidaihe meet. The only report on Beidaihe meet in South China Morning Post. What does it say? China high-tech scientists have a movement in the Beidaihe Sun at the political elites retreat. So the meet took place. Even these China's top scientists were there. Baat hua hai, but not with Z. If you see this photograph, it is His PPS, Aichi, who's there. I'll show it to you, have a look at it. Yeah, if you see in the center, it is not Xi Jinping, it is Aichi. Okay, so very clear that he was not there. Does it stop there? It doesn't, because you have to go back in time to understand the conditions under which Xi Jinping has been for the past some time. Okay, what's that? I'll go back to this. You know, this was a meeting which was held 1 month before the third plenum. Where was it held? At a place near a place called Gutia, which is somewhere in the central China. Okay, what is the headline which says Xi stretches PLA's political loyalty at crucial meet held in old revolutionary base. And in that he is warned PLA to prepare for civil war. He warned. This is reported, which General Narayanan at that time spoke. But what is interesting in this? Why was this meeting held? This meeting was held at this place near Gutia, which is very symbolic. Why is it symbolic? 100 years back or 120 years back, Mao held a meeting in Gutia. Why did he hold the meeting? It was a special meeting where he caught hold of all PLA commanders, made them sit down and put the line down for them. Said, you cross the line, I'll finish you off. That was his message then. And he said, loyalty to the party is of utmost importance. And this kind of a meeting was not planned. It was not a planned meet where everyone goes. It's not something like an annual meet or a program meet. It was not. He called. Now, in 2014, Xi Jinping repeated it. He caught hold of all the PLA. That was just after he took over. 2012 he took over. 2013 was his first 18th party congress. He immediately held this meet early 2014. Got hold of all the PLA commanders and read out the riot act to them. And he said, now corruption, anti-corruption, and he started the first cleansing of PLA started 10 years back. Okay. Now we all know in the past 6 months, there have been a whole lot of generals who've been sacked, the PLA-RF chap sacked, 2 defense ministers sacked, their primary membership taken off, the foreign minister sacked, once 9 generals were sacked, then all the PLA generals have been called by him and said, look, you can't interact with the media, you should know how to interact with people. A lot of things have come out, and we've done this, what shall I say, podcast. And I've done this earlier. Now, there are a lot of problems in PLA. He had to control the PLA before he went for this meet in the third plenary. So he calls everyone in July, 10 years after that, again, and does this. And he takes this, calls this meet. And what's interesting, his defense minister is not part of this meet. So there's some problem. I mean, General Narayanan and I pointed this out. I said, how is this man who has called all the PLA commanders, he's read out the riot act to them after 10 years again, and the defense minister is not there, and the defense minister is not part of the Central Military Commission so far. He's no confidence in him. That itself told us that there's some problem. Okay, so this is the story with this meeting. Okay, and then I'd like to play out the social disorder which is there in China. I did a podcast on the social disorder in China, and that's growing. You have to understand, and I'll to recount. Let me play what I said then, so that you understand that bit is important. हमारे देश में तो हो जाता है cops in Haryana or village elders somewhere else, तो झंडा खड़ा कर देते. But as a democracy, here, if the village clans that are confronting the government, there is something serious. I mean, that's the way I look at it. If that has come, that means there's an organization against the government which is Panaprai. There's something germinating. Okay. I mean, now let's link this up. This phenomenon, this is a social phenomenon. We keep talking of social disorder in China. This is a social phenomenon, and let's link it up with the other protests. After all, a lot of protests have taken place. If you go back into the history of China, the last violent protests actually happened in 2008, 2009, just before Beijing Olympics, when Tibetans were brought under control, firing took place, people were killed, there was immolation, everything, and all the Western society and including India looked the other way. We let them down. After that, the Tibetan movement just collapsed. After that, there was hardly any protest. Local protests hote rehte hain. But you come 2 years back, you had this protest in Henan when people were protesting for the money because the banks collapsed. I spoke about it. And a good 30 odd cities were affected by these protests. So people came in front of banks and said, please give our money back. And it was to the extent at that time, the PLA put up tanks also. They said, okay, but if it goes violent, we might have to use tanks. This photograph came out then. And then, of course, there was this bridge man, 20-party Congress, 2022, October 22. In the 20-party Congress, he put this against. उसके बाद उसका लाभ आता है. Now then the pensioners also went into a protest because they were cuts in health benefits. These are all things which happened. And then this white paper protest, which brought the COVID down 2 years back to December 22. But these protests were slightly different. These were spontaneous. The people came out. Like in the bank protest, people, for the money they came out, and everyone, people realized that their money was at stake. They all came out and stood. When people, there was this fire in Xinjiang, Kashgar, I think. So, hotel where people died, 10, 12 people died, and then the thing came out and against COVID. This was, again, it was an eruption. That was an eruption. All these were eruptions. That bridge man was one lone solitary chap who put it up. But this movement is different. Village clans organizing themselves and resisting the government, resisting the Communist Party. And the Communist Party is going to come down. I don't know whether the Communist Party will be able to push down or not. But think back, about a year back, we were all saying, look, if the things goes bad, there will be social eruptions. Is this the first of the social eruption? That is what we have to examine. The fact is, the fact is this social eruption which took place connected with what's now reported? Okay. Where the village clans instigated by the opposition within the CCP? That is the question, right? And if you look at it, look at all this. Look at the entirety of the whole situation. The PLA is in turmoil. The economy is in the dumps. There's a great political pushback now, which is emerging in the form of maybe the village clans who've been instigated and elders who feel that Xi Jinping is stealing away Deng Xiaoping's legacy. There's social disorder. I mean, the number of kind of strikes and protests which we've seen in China over the past 2 years, I've not seen it for a long time. You have to go back. I don't remember also. Maybe in the time of Gang of Four, and maybe during the Tibetan outpouring till about 2008. Then the geopolitical tensions. No one is allowing. In fact, today actually I wanted to. My whole story was about telling you how China is stuck economically. Most of their EV manufacturers are suffering losses. So there is turmoil inside, paisa hai bhai. Okay. And then there are strange silences. We don't know when this fellow speaks, doesn't speak, and he speaks, does it have value or not? If you see Xi Jinping's talks these days, they're all anodyne. There's nothing significant in them. Not a single direction has come. Right? And there's chaos. And you look at, when I say PLA in turmoil, PLA is internally in turmoil. Externally, China has been closest to war in the past few days. Even today morning or yesterday, there's been a third bump between, China Coast Guard vessel and a Philippines Coast Guard vessel. USA said, I will escort your vessels to Philippines. If USA starts escorting vessels of Philippines in South China Sea, it has entered the fray. Are we close to war there? We're almost there. Actually, in my view, we're almost at war at this point of time. Right. Now, if that is the case, so, where are we in this whole business? Yeah, 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah. Yeah. So, where are we in this whole business? Where is Xi Jinping? What is he doing? What's his control? In this kind of a thing, he's not come out with any policy statement, whether he wants to do an outreach to Philippines or not, or to USA, or to anyone. 1.5 months. And now this report comes out. And is there a solution to China's problems? You take your call on it. Because I can only show you what's coming out and put things together and show you a picture. And the picture which I see is poor. In my way of looking at it, Xi Jinping is completely gone on the lame duck mode. How much he will be able to retrieve from here is to be seen. I mean, look, in China, anything is possible. We don't know what's happening behind closed doors. It's fully possible that Xi Jinping will get around, use his lieutenants, and finish off the opposition, whatever is there, and continue back. That's also possible. Because remember, he controls the complete Politburo. He controls the complete CMC. The only chap who is put in, as a defense minister whom he is not confident of, he's not put him in the CMC. So he controls both the CMC and the Politburo, or the Politburo Standing Committee. So he's still got a lot of power going. We still don't know whether he's well or not. There are videos like this lady Jennifer Zheng. She says she came out of the video which says, look, he's gone through an operation. He's not well for aneurysms. She showed some scars behind and all that. We don't know. So that's also feasible. He's not well and there's a blowback against him. So all these things you put together, at least I'm clear that hereafter Xi Jinping is a lame duck operator till the situation clears. Okay? And this is where I rest it. If you like this video, press the like button. If you're not a subscriber to Gunner Shot, please do subscribe. I'll be more than happy. And we're getting out, like I said, these are interesting days and we'll get out some interesting videos. All right, with this, I'll switch to the open house mode and I'll take on all your questions. Okay, now let me start from the top.